going to go?
Good job in the corner and that's fine.
Two weeks time, I'm 60. 61, sorry, 61.
Yeah, so much. When you going away?
Right, thank you. I haven't sparred with Steve before, I don't know about what he does really. But what you get there comes from movement. And for 30 odd years, all I ever did really was karate and aikido. And it's only about the last 10 years that I've started to learn movement. And it's only because I've started to do a lot of different stuff, much of which falls into the gamut of the Chinese martial arts of Xing Chuan and Baguazhang. And I wish I'd learned this when I was in my 30s and 40s, as opposed to when I was like 50. So I probably would have done a lot better. But what we're doing there, which is freeform, I didn't really know what Jeff was going to do, comes from application of different forms of movement. And the sooner you learn that sort of stuff, the better it'll be for you, for your own flexibility. And I don't mean flexibility, physical flexibility, I mean flexibility of your approach and response in a combat scenario. So first of all, I need you to fully understand, I think as I explained last time, there's a vast difference between sport and close quarter combat. In close quarter combat, the last place you ever want to be is on the floor. There's no grappling in the real world. There might be, if you do MMA and stuff like that. Let me tell you, the Korean army, the Russian Spetsnaz, the Israeli forces, they don't do groundwork. They don't do kickboxing. They might do it to keep fit, but they don't do it for combat effectiveness. What they do is stuff that's based upon movement and hitting vital points of the body. And I say I wish I'd learned that a long time ago. These guys started with me 3, 4, 5 years ago, whatever, and they found exactly the same. Their whole movement, the whole way they operate has completely changed from what they used to do. They both former karate men. So what I want to do today is do a little bit more of what we did last time, but I want to concentrate on how do you develop that movement. Once you develop those little subtle movements, Jeff was saying before he wanted to see some of that subtlety of movement. Once you've got that, then it gives you a much more flexible approach on how you deal with something that comes in. So really, I didn't know what I was going to do when Jeff was coming at me. I just followed a particular series of movement patterns and let whatever flows come out of it. So what I'm going to start off with today is we're going to do some stuff. Now, you've got one body, one head, 2 legs and 2 arms. You've got 4 limbs that can move, and you've got a body that can move, and it can move in many different ways. So you've got a huge amount of options. What we'll start off today with is just using one arm. And I'm going to get you to do some movements that involve just one arm, and then we'll do a series of exercises of actually just defences, just using one arm. You know, you can sort of say, oh, to do like the Paralympics and stuff like that. Okay. But what can you do with one arm that's effectively? Then when you start to look at the possibilities you get by adding in the second arm, you end up with a huge number of possibilities. So what we're going to do is we'll start off with some exercises first of all. The exercises are very, very helpful. And then we'll start doing some one-arm movements with a partner. And the idea is to get the feel of how somebody's body moves. And then once you've got the feel of how that person's body moves, you can then start to see how you apply it onto them. And some of the applications, even with single arm, are very, very effective. So, what I'd like you to do, please, is to stand up, find yourself a bit of space. Get in a position where you can see what I'm doing. I only really started to pick this stuff up about, well, quite a few years ago. I did a weird Chinese exercise system called Qigong, which I did a course on it and never really thought much of it, just did the exercises a bit. And then about 10 years ago, we had a visit from an amazing American guy that Scott met before, Grandmaster Rich Mooney, who's ex-American Army, absolutely bonkers. And he taught us the original bit of Bagua that we learned. And we suddenly realised, there's a completely different world out there. And that's what set us on the route. And I mean, Scott still sometimes speaks to Mooney, don't you?
Occasionally, when he hasn't dropped off the map.
Yes, he's crazy. Right, the first move we're going to get you to do is, we're going to take just the hand here, and you're just going to turn across the body, up and out, turn the hand outwards, and scoop, and turn through. Find yourself some space, so you've got plenty of, yeah. It's going to, so as it comes in, I lift up, it comes up the centre, it turns, and then I'm going to turn it away. Now, if I just start off initially with my feet square, so we're going to come up and turn, come up and turn, come up and turn, come up. Now, can you see that's the same movement we did begin with? See what, if I get the body movement right, see what that does to him. It makes him start to go, and it takes his balance. Make sense? There. There. Okay. There. There. So at the moment I'm just using, effectively, if you just keep on coming with this hand, please, Keith, just that hand. So there, again, just using that hand. Not using any body shifting yet. I'm not taking them offline. All I'm doing is taking this movement. Make sense? Start off just by trying that and making sure it's your body that's turning your opponent's arm. Keep it nice and steady. We're now going to take that movement. We're using this tight move all the way through today. The Keith comes in there, it comes up the centre and then turns, okay? There's lots of things I can do with this hand, which I'll explain shortly. I'm just doing the body movement. Now, as he comes in and I turn, that takes him offline. Now let's actually start to make that worse by me moving in on him, okay? So as I come in, I get a much bigger turn because I'm now starting to put in my body moves forward. So we take the advantage here. That's starting to turn. Now I can move on him, yeah? And I've moved right into his space. But I can't get to that bit unless I get that first bit right. The up the centre, then start to turn the body, which turns him, and then that step in. And just to give you an idea of what this now starts to create for us. So he comes in there, I'm straight into stuff like that, see what I mean? You even saw that. It comes in, it starts to move him, and then you immediately sort of go into stuff like this, straight away, just with one hand. Get the idea? So he comes in right, and we move slightly across into him. Comes in left, moves in, move across. See what's doing with his balance. Comes in right, comes in left. Now then, if I now go over here, see what that does. I've just completely taken his balance. Just by a very short movement. So I've gone from here to there, from here to there, to here to there. That's all. Just try doing it with one hand for the moment. Let's start over here, so we've got this thing here. So I'm square on here, so I'm going to come in. And that, once I've brought him back in here, if I were to throw him down as I did with Jeff before, I'm simply going to step and do this movement here. See, we did that earlier on. In fact, in the system that we practice now, this whole thing of that movement there, which is slow light movement, is so effective. Once you brought somebody in, you can take them through. Yeah? I didn't get this doing karate, I got this doing later stuff, and really from an understanding of how the body works. But then you suddenly find you've discovered one of the old Chinese arts. That's how clever it is. Well, that body movement is initiated from there. Turn, bring back in and down. Yep. Let's take something different.
Do you know, Neil, I thought having a car crash in the week would be so beneficial.
Andy was in a car crash earlier this week, he's delicate. Jeff's going to come in again.
Same step and same.
Yeah, so I'm going to do this. I'm now going to move offline. So I'm now going to add in an extra movement. I'm going to go to the side, then come across. Yeah? That makes sense? So we're going to start adding in. There, that's better. Yeah, much better. I'm standing, I'm not wide, I'm just standing in a natural position. When he's coming in, move off line, then go in. So it becomes 1, 2. Yeah? So, 1, 2. What can I now do? Well, he's actually turned a bit more than I would have liked. So let's just do something else here. Let's now, I've started to move, so let's continue to move. I now want to walk round him. So I want to walk round him to get out of his way. But I want to hurt him. Just because I'm that kind of guy. So I'm going to move in here, I'm going to move, and I'm going to strike onto the throat there.
Right, Jeff?
No.
So we move offline, I'm going to move in. And I'm going to let me knuckle here. You have to be ultra careful for this, by the way. There's a variant of this that the American Special Forces use for killing people. But I'm just going to let me knuckle.
See you in a second.
Rest on there. Now then, I've now stuck my knuckle onto there, and I'm now just going to walk round him, and I'm going to let my arm wind up again. And as it winds up, it comes onto his throat. That's painful, is it not? But the thing is, he's there, I'm here. I actually want to be this way. I want to be out the way. Yeah? I don't want to be stood there having a fight. And particularly in a, let's say in a military combat situation, where there's the knife through the throat, I want to be onto the next guy, because the next guy's waiting for me, or ready for me, yeah? So that's where we start to get much more fluid body movement. So we move in, catch the throat, come past. Yep. So, side, push, touch, walk round, pull. Yeah.
Whereabouts on the throat is it? I didn't know.
There's actually loads of places, but
I wanted to ask.
please refer this time. Okay.
You see where the red mark is?
There's actually 2 specific places that I'm going for. I'll show you one and I'll show the other. In the end, you don't have to be ultra accurate because you're always going to catch one of them. Yeah. So as he comes in, we move, we extend, and this comes in, and just the back of this knuckle here. I mean, the hand is open, just like this. It lands on there, and you see on Jeff here that there's a little angle. If you imagine the throat as sort of being an octagonal shape, rather than the side point, the front and back, we're actually going to come in that angle there, which is horrible, and there's a reason why. There's a nerve there, which is a baroreceptor, measures blood pressure on the blood vessels. So press in there actually causes a change in blood pressure of the brain, so the brain can shut down momentarily. But as it comes across and it just lands, I can push forward and get that, which is great. But I don't want to be there. So I've come in, I've caught, I land on there, and I'm just going to move around. And you realise that it just tightens up. This here is just on the side of the neck. There is another point. If I come in here, there, straight on the side of the neck, there is a point called large intestine 18, which gives a very big bang. A very big bang. And all I'm going to do is I come in there. I can actually delay the strike until I get to there. Yeah. So the fluid motion becomes there, boom, and gone. And if I put that in with that force, you
It feels like I've just been choked and I know I haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You please be ultra careful with this. Just go for the very gentle fluid motion. Just land that on there and pull. Yeah. Ever so gentle. That's all you need.
I just make a quick point. Those that were here last time, I don't know if you remember when it was a chest strike, and then I asked the daft question I got hit and hurt. What happens if you don't go to the chest and you go further down? I think you made the point that basically from there, the zone goes that way.
Yeah, there's nerves.
So far, basically, I've been hit, well, the ball being sort of like hit there, which is down that point, and this is just an extension down there. So Where we hit there, just follow straight down, and that's the kind. Just answer your question from my point of view. You know, it is literally from down because we struck the eyes last time.
Yeah.
Into that nerve point there, ish, and then it comes down there. So it literally is following straight down.
It's called stomach 9 in acupuncture. That one there, stomach 5, stomach 6, stomach 4, and it comes down to stomach 9. Then it comes just behind the collarbone. We get into a cluster. There's a massive nerve complex behind the collarbone and behind the pectoral muscle called the brachial plexus, and we can access that. It's protected for very good reasons. But when you haven't got gloves on, and you know how to manipulate your fingers, your hands, and you've got body movement, you can access brachial plexus, as we may do later on, and it's gigantically effective. But please, in there, there is a slight problem here if I'm working with a big bastard, as in
the compliments I get.
As in somebody who's taller, is that when he comes in, it's harder for me to access it because he's too high and not sit with yourself there. Okay? And the general situation is if you want to do something with somebody when they're tall, you need to make them small. Okay? So how do we make them small? We come in, we'll take them down like that, and then we'll bring them back in. Yeah? So all we've done is we've changed from this to this. Yeah? Now you only really need that when somebody's big. But that doesn't have all these things. By the way, we're still not using the backhand. There's loads of things I can do with the backhand which do exactly the same thing. Okay? But at the moment, it's just there, knee, taken down. Each of these movements, each of these effects on the body takes a fraction of time. You can't do them all at once. It is bop, 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 right? So that's why there's always a pace to something, a rhythm. And the rhythm to that is up, there, strike, round, down, and down. Yeah? So if you have a look on YouTube for the Russian Sistema system, you'll see them doing this sort of stuff all the time. That's how it works. Okay. Going to take that same movement, it's just the very same first movement. I'll take. I'm now going to start changing to similar movement with different weapons, still only the same hand. Okay? He comes in, I'm going to come here, I'm going to strike him like this. Yeah? I'm going to start that movement. I'm going to start this, but I'm going to change halfway through. I'll move in. I've started to move him now. There. That'll shatter him. Takes him down anyway, because I did a few extra things on there as well. Yeah? So we come in, there. Notice I've started that movement. It's not just a case of striking the elbow. I need to move him out of the way to access. And now, I've actually got a little space. I'm going to move in that space. So I'm now going to continue the movement that we did. But instead of landing with this, I'm going to change and land with that. Yeah? If he hasn't gone down like a sack of spuds with a shattered jaw, then I'm not very good. But on the other hand, I can just do something extra there. Yes? So, thank you, Jeff. So, it's going to be... Yeah? I just mentioned there, I have mentioned to one or two people specifically, is that when you've got a big height difference, it's often difficult to get there. And if you don't do that knee point, which actually takes a moment, the bigger the person, it's like, you know...
Sorry, can I just interrupt? He's going to be in your jaw.
It's alright, I'm not going to hit him there.
Sorry.
If I want to bring him down, the taller the person, the longer the message takes to get from the leg up to the brain to go, oh shit, and then you fall over, right? Okay. So sometimes it takes a while, as in, you know, fractions of a second. But I don't have to do that. If he's much bigger, and I just want a very quick finish, as he comes in there, I can move in, and instead of trying to reach up there, why not just take down the arm there, like that? It's horrible. Yeah? It will shatter the humerus. It will destroy the muscle there. You wouldn't, I mean, if it doesn't shatter the humerus, you probably won't want to use his arm for weeks. So, and it's really just a case of there, that's it. Yeah? Yeah. I can do a front leg or I can do back leg, it doesn't really matter which. Yeah? So, just, we're going to look at there, boom, there. Horrible, isn't it?
Yes.
But just for fun, just to make it more interesting, I can strike there, and then I can go, wasn't I going in that direction? And I can take them out that way, yeah? So I can just go back to what I was doing before. So I would just come in, there, one, and then I take it out that way. So I can go back to where I was originally going. I'll just take a little detour on the way. Make sense? When you go for the arm, it's the body weight. It's not the elbow that does the elbow happens to be the extension of the body. Once you've come there, boom, it's this, the body movement that hits there, boom. Notice how it brings them down. That will finish anybody, honestly. But if you're feeling real lazy, and you just want to be relaxed, you just nicely take it up there and what did I do? What did I do? Get the idea? Oh, sorry, you're walking.
Sorry.
Do you want me to go?
Go
on, Lewis.
I like to.
Let's do the same thing. I'll use the left again. That's what I'm trying to keep on one side. So you come in with a hook or whatever. So we strike there as we did before. We'll come out. We can hurt him, or we can just take the balance. Yeah. And all we do then is move past and take and lock him up with that. Yeah. So that's just same arm. So we come in there and rattle. We'll come back this way, and what can you do? Imagine what happens when you step in there. So just there, go past if you can, because that allows that lock up even better. Now bear in mind, if I was using the second hand would be trapping or striking, yeah? So we end up with this sort of movement, boom, yeah? I've trapped the hand and I've struck. But today, it's one arm day. We come round, and we lock up. If his arm ends up straight, doesn't matter, it still works. You'll just probably hyper extend the arm. So 1, 2, 3. Now then, if he's still struggling, let's just take him down with a knee strike. Yeah, I'm sure we want to go then. And then if I really want to hurt him, I can then add in the second strike and just go on that side of the face. So again, same movement again. We'll move inside and out, extend into him. Hand comes out. Remember we were doing this movement earlier on. It's the same movement. Remember, I'm just making this up as I'm going along. Take him down, hit him on the side of the head. He's still mine. When I want to finish with him, I can just whatever. Be careful. We don't practice defences against kicks or moves against kicks as often as we used to, mainly because we're getting old, and because it depends on, you usually can't tell what type of kick's coming in, so all I'm trying to do is to fit in something with the movements we've been doing. But if Jeff's coming with a right, with a centre kick there, you just move offline and strike, and we can take them there. So what you've done here is you come in, strike, boom, like that, yeah? And what you've done is this movement. That makes sense. What happens on the leg as he comes in, there just happens to be a lovely point just about there, and we catch it. So just in, boom, boom, that's it. And that's powerful, is it not?
It is.
So, 1, 2, except this time we're just going to take that out of the way. The way that the arm can move, we can strike like that, with this, or we can strike with the bottom fist as he's coming past him. If you just extend as you come past, please, yeah. Boom. Yeah. We can actually catch it slightly backwards. So there or there or there, they all work. It's only the same as this movement here. Yeah. But the important thing is getting out of the way. So we move, strike, boom. That's an outside. Left.
You want me to do it?
left one. If he's coming in, there, you get the same thing. It just so happens there's a line of nerves run down the outside, pretty much where the crease is, and halfway down the leg, you catch it, gallbladder meridian in acupuncture. Halfway down the inside of the leg, between the front and the back muscles, you've got what's called the liver meridian. So as he lifts up, if I can catch it, come here, yeah, there. If I catch it there, liver meridian is very, very, very vulnerable. So a little shuffling movement of, yeah, just left. Yeah. Boom. Now, I could have continued with that movement out there. So, let's go. Left. Sorry, just come off the back leg. Sorry. So, one, boom, there. We're just completing the same movement. Get the idea? But there's a very good technical reason why we do that. If we catch that leg, it is massively painful. It's also part of what's called the liver meridian. The liver meridian is part of the wood element. The next natural thing I might hit in one cycle is the earth element. And it just so happens that after I've hit wood there, earth happens to be here, which of course we've been playing with all morning. So that would probably, you'd probably cry at your mouth. So,
to be honest.
So I'll do it ever so gently. So 1, 2. That's just the movement we've done before, but adding a bit more in. Put defence against leg. So halfway this way, halfway that way. Please be careful.
You know that slap to the stomach that we've been doing? You know how after the first 2 good ones, your skin didn't want to do it anymore? Yeah. It's exactly what that's like. It's so straight away.
And if Jeff had been pushing in and pushing through, the effect is greater. I mean, because effectively it was just horizontal.
I don't think I'd be able to land on it.
No, but in actual fact, what I do is if he's actually pushing through, I'm actually catching slightly backwards. Which, well, when suddenly we're with that technique up there, so you're going 1, 2. See the idea? So it all depends on the way it comes. But either way, if you're clever, you can't kick from this range, so we stay close in. That's where Taekwondo guys have no chance in a close quarter situation, because you've got control always here. Yeah. So try this, nice and steady. There are loads of different kicks, there's loads of different ways to move from kicks, but just try that one. Just for practice, make it nice and straight and steady. Side of the leg, side of the leg. Right. I'll continue to use my right arm to demonstrate, obviously, when I'm practicing yourself, the thought. As we come in here, now I'm going to decide, instead of going there, I'm actually going to take it down. It's the same movement, but instead of projecting that way, I'm going to let the arm come back down, follow the natural movement round. So there, yeah? Notice I've moved slightly offline, again. So I've added this bit in, but I've taken down. Now what can I do? Well, my hand's low. I can bring it high if I wish, but there's no reason why I can't just touch them there as I go past.
You weren't expecting that one.
So I was trying to work out where it was going, that wasn't one of them.
So just there and then that. Now that itself is massively powerful. Yeah?
It slaps the skin so it's rotten.
Yeah.
Rather than
it won't kill him.
So
But I don't need to do that, because I'm going to come in and whack like that as I go past. That's going to be enough to hurt him. Yeah? So, I'll be a bit more challenged. There. The hand is back. Smack. Right in the solar plexus, or if I catch slightly higher up here, there's some points there, and there's some points just there. Yeah? I mean, you know that thing that you do in the neck? Just there. And do the same thing on there, yeah? But let's just do, now this is, right, you pick up a load of clay and you're going to slop it against a wall, right? So we'll call this Hoyenklarts. Now, did I tell you about this system I've got, Aikido, right? This is Hoyenklarts. So again, we're going to Sovkiek, Hoyenklarts. That's it. Then just let them enjoy that. And it's so easy.
It does, because it reverberates afterwards.
Yeah. But it also sets them up nicely, because if I then go to other stuff around here, then you get big effects. You see that the massive advantage of then start adding the other hand. I can come up. If I hit him there, and I rip up on the face, anything like this, horrible, isn't it? One more. Did you enjoy that?
No.
Same movement. There, I'm going to step. I mean, this time I'm actually just going to walk past, but I'm going to catch there. Anywhere on the inside of the leg. Bring the hand up, catch that. Off we go. Just do the one on the body.
If anybody else wants to volunteer my place, feel free to. No, fair enough.
Jeff! Movement again, movement again. Could you come this side,
yes.
please? I'll continue to demonstrate just with the right arm. Obviously I'm with you or you both. What we've done here is, give us a right there, we've done this, yeah? We can equally, but a little bit more, with such more difficulty, do the other side. So if the left hand is coming in, Jeff.
Sorry, step in
The
again.
same hand, anything you like. There, yeah? Now then, I've got to bear in mind that most people's punches in a real world situation tend to curve in. So I've actually got to physically move the body more. Yeah? So let's use the same movement when I move on to him. Right? I need you to understand as well, by the way, that you will obviously say that I'm very vulnerable to the backhand. Yeah? Remember, at the moment we're only using one hand and they're not yet telling me what I would do with this backhand. But either way, when I take him, I've got to take his balance. Make sense? So that's the first bit we're going to do. So we're just going to practice. Don't worry if you can't. If you would worry about getting this right in a real world situation, we're just doing the movement for the moment. We're coming up the centre. Notice how my hand comes just, when we're on the outside we were just above the elbow, on this time we're just above the elbow on the inside. I've taken him there, I now want to move him. Yep. And already Jeff can feel the body weight is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got to be able, whatever you do on one side, it's got to be able to work on the inside as well. So it's going to be a case of there and there. Now, there's loads of things I can do there. Yeah. There's loads of things I can even do with this front hand. But at the moment, I've now moved from here, in and out and push. And I've taken his balance yet again. Yep, so last time, please. Go there. If we're in a much closer situation, we're pretty much this way on, and he's going to come around with a hook. There. That's painful. I didn't even specifically hit you there, but that's painful there. But look at this.
Shoulder more than anything else.
Yeah, but just by that little shuffling movement, look at the way that his balance is taken. Yeah? Understand? So, 1, 2, up the centre and across. Up the centre and across. But remember, it's not just a case of from here, step. You're going to have to come in from just to keep out to get yourself on the inside. Make sense? Practice that, yeah. Right. There's loads of things we can do, really. What I was just saying to one or two of you there is, because I'm not clever enough, I'm not, certainly not fast enough, I don't have the physical reaction time to work out, is it left or is it right? The same movement works whether he's attacked with his left or his right. So if it's right, it's in there, yeah. If it's left, it's in there. It's the same movement, yeah? The only difference is when we end up this position and I've taken his balance and taken control, oh, how is he now? What can I hit him with? There's loads, and you use obviously different things for on the inside or the outside, but all of that, there's loads of things we can do. So, let's have a look. Just that one there. Okay, so we're going to come in there, stop him there. Let's just take his knee and walk away. You will be careful, please. Just above the kneecap, just on the inside of the knee above it. Jeff's got a lovely big muscle there called the vastus medialis muscle. Yep. On people who train hard, particularly footballers, cyclists, that tends to be quite big, which just basically says, here I am, please hit me. So we come in there, we take that there. Let's continue. I've suddenly decided that's the direction I want to walk at. That's where the aisle is, it's got the sugar puffs in. So I'll try and get them and walk around. Get the idea? That's how it works. Now, so we're just going to come in, take, but notice I've got to move into him. One of the reasons I've got to move into him is that helps to take his balance. The other thing, the reason why I'm moving into him is because his range to hit me is now very different from what he had moments ago. Yes? Mm-hmm. So now suddenly the target's not there. But since I'm going to go for a walk, I may as well do some damage on the way. So, the knee comes up, catches there, collapses his leg, and we'll just walk away. Make sense? That will probably shatter his, well, certainly probably shatter his, one of the ligaments in the knee. So be careful. So we're going to 1 there, 2 there, and just walk through. It won't hurt your knee at all. if you just come up. I'll add in one extra.
Take a film.
I'm sure that was your fault somehow.
The film in the class of one, is it?
Right, I'm just going to take the pace up a touch. I'm now starting to affect points in there. Yeah, that, when I come in there, that's painful, and it gives a much bigger, what I'm doing is this movement here, yeah? So it comes in, bang, that's mine, bang, that's mine, you're away. But you can do it just really soft. 1, 2, go. Okay? Off you go. Again, sorry, Jeff. See here. You asked me. Right. We're going to come in again with that same movement. So we're going to stop there. We're going to stop and boom. There. Okay. Were the sugar puffs that way? No, that way. Yep. So you're going to come in 1, and then we're just going to strike and go that way. Yeah.
Again, is that still the open hand?
Yeah. What's it feel like?
It feels like the ridge of the hand rather than the... Yeah.
So we're going to come in and take them there. Now, what I said to you is that when you actually taken the once you take the balance, then you very quickly can assess where the other stuff is. You know, where the other points are. So there's loads of different directions I can now go. I can go that way, which we did a moment ago. I can go that way. So I can come in here and come boom like that. I can go that way, and just a hand catches, boom, oh, there. Or I can come, actually I want to be this way. So there's all these different directions I can go, just from once I've got that position there. But I tell you what, remember earlier on we were doing that thing where we slap the body and we just move diagonally. I've come in this direction, I can't hit the body here, that's stupid, I just can't reach it. But let's do the same principle. I'm going to walk in that direction. I'm catching up there. 1, there. And that's devastating. Yeah? So I've come in, I've gone 1, 2. Yeah? Diagonal. Skating. You know where skaters go? Left, right. So we skate to the right, skate to the left.
I'm acutely aware of how little power you're putting in that.
Yeah.
It stings.
Yeah. So the movement there was in, there, there. And it's really just you don't even need to apply any power with your arm. It's just the trailing arm. Just catches. The looser you leave that, the more power it creates. On the same principles, Scott and Jeff asked me to do certain things, but I didn't really want to do things in isolation. I want to try and fit them in with just whatever theme we've got. By the way, I don't plan a lot of these things. We just start off, I mean, this is what happens every Tuesday and Sunday at our club. We just start off with an idea, and then just one thing leads to another. So effectively, I'm just making this stuff up as I go along. But I'm conscious you did ask me to do one particular thing. So, give us a right, just like that's off the back foot on the front foot. So let's go back to that same sort of thing we had earlier on. But from here, we're now going to come in, we're going to lock him up, and we're going to put a strangle on him. Yeah, I haven't applied the backhand yet. The backhand does make a big difference. But I'm just going to come here, there, round, up, lock, and I've got him. Yeah. If I apply the backhand, then it completes the movement. So, there. Now then, remember what I was saying about walking past and let the arm lazily, if I did that on the front of the throat, by the way, that probably dead. Now, I don't really want to do that, it's horrible. But effectively I'm catching him there. But rather than walking away, I'm going to continue to walk round him. And as I walk round him, the arm comes up. Now, effectively, what's now going to happen, by the way, if he's taller than me, which I'll probably do, I'm going to bring him down and bring him round. And once I've got him to here, now then, Jeff, just sit there a moment. I haven't applied the pressure once there. Right, I haven't applied the pressure. Just
tap as soon as that pressure comes on.
Right.
It's horrible, isn't it?
I need you to understand the difference between a strangle and a choke. Right, I'll take Keith, please. I will be gentle. Come this way, please, Keith. If I come across the windpipe, I'll bring him down a touch, and squeeze the windpipe, then he will start to choke. The body has a natural reaction against the windpipe being closed. Yeah? And the body's reaction is obviously to fight it massively. It's what happens when we drown and whatever. But the body will produce a gigantic adrenaline dump. Now Keith is very much stronger than me, and I will probably struggle to try and control him with a choke. So please understand, a choke is a closure of the windpipe. The body has a natural defence against that. Yeah? So I do not want to come across the front of the throat. Even touching the Adam's apple will get a reaction. Yes, he'll come back, but then he will fight it. Understand? So what I'm doing here is, when I come around here, I actually want to compress the blood vessels, and the blood vessels are very simple to place. You actually touch on the side of the neck. This angle here, there. The blood vessels are coming up here. If I squeeze the blood vessels, the body does not have a natural defence against that. And the other thing is, when I squeeze the blood vessels, if you get a change in blood pressure, then that change in blood pressure will usually put somebody unconscious or incapable of doing anything in about 7 seconds. Yeah? A choke, somebody will fight for anything up to a minute before they go unconscious. If you've got a minute in the middle of a battlefield or in a combat situation, then you're extremely lucky. You want something that happens very fast. You want to subdue somebody. So what we do, as we move past, I don't want to compress the windpipe. I still want them to breathe, but I do want to compress those blood vessels. You get that by this position here. Now what we're saying about wrapping, the arm, as you walk round, the arm naturally wraps up. There are all sorts of different ways to complete that, to strengthen it. But when I take Keith here, and I get to this position here, Keith can, it's very uncomfortable, but Keith can still breathe, yes? He can still talk. I can even put this on, and he can still talk, yeah? All I now need to do is just to tense the muscles. If I held that on for 7 seconds, you would just, in wrestling we used to call it a sleeper. Make sense? It only happens by having the Adam's apple in that gap there. You want to give him that gap. How do you get that? Well, you do it by that movement. So we come in the case of Keith, I'm going to bring him down a touch, and I get to here. Now there's all sorts of things where you can put the hand behind and squeeze. Yeah, you can grab the collar. The judo lads know fantastic stuff on that. The one which is my personal preference, and remember, I don't use this stuff in practice. This for me is just an intellectual exercise. But this works brilliantly. Because I'm awfully lazy, why don't I just stick my hand around the back of my neck here, and then just like lean on the desk, like you were at school and you just bored out your skull. And he goes down. Make sense? So the movement here would be take, as we had earlier on, up, and as we continue to walk around, we're here. There's loads of ways we can bring him down. The second hand does wonders. In practice, what we're training, we do a double tap, come up, and I squeeze him there, yeah? But once I'm onto this position here, I have that control. Hands behind the neck. Very good. There, can you see that? Hands behind the neck. And then my back is pretty much to him. If he's too high, I just give him a little dig, which will bring him down. Or I can push him with the backhand, boom, there. And then all I do, squeeze. And that's from the same movement. Okay? Clear? Remember when we did, going right back to the beginning, when we did that and we caught up here. Okay? We can do the same thing here. If his other hand's coming through, we just move this way and strike like that. Yeah? So we move so much inside of it that the punch has lost its power. By the way, if I was using two hands, the other hand would be doing something like this. But we can go from here, boom. That honestly is so powerful. It's devastating. Boom. Now then, I'm just going to touch Jeff. Be tough. I'm just going to touch Jeff, and it's only going to be an arm move, just a very, very light arm movement. Yeah? Horrible, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Boom. There. Supposing I did it like this. But I went in like that. Imagine what the effect of that is. So all we're doing is using that very same body movement. Doesn't have to be the hand. There. That catches everything. There. Boom. That's it, gone. Same movement, just done. Thank you. Only done one movement.
Can you just watch your feet, sorry?
Yeah, from here, I'll get it on this line here, C-shape. Yeah, we've been playing with this for years. It's exactly as I was showing you earlier on. The hand comes across the centre, then out. It comes in the centre, there. And it just so happens when we start to learn shingy, that's one of the shingy animals, it's called alligator. And when we learn bagua, that's part of single palm change in bagua. But we've been doing this before, because only somebody who the body can move. So, you realise in the end it's just a wriggle. There, yeah? It's that wriggle and that turn that gives the gigantic power. Except what I did there was I'm using the arm, boom, to strike on the face, as opposed to on his incoming arm. So there you go. So you go from there, it's a strike. You'll do it gently, turn, and just anywhere across here, anywhere across the face, where you draw the neck. It's powerful. Be careful with it.